Students, welcome to the help class, page 477, 17 through 38, all the help video. If this is not the homework assignment you're on, then please stop this video and find the correct assignment. Okay, number 17, 18, and 19, tell whether you have a polyhedron, and if so, tell the name. Well, no, this is not a polyhedron, no, because a polyhedron is when it is a solid made up of polygons, and this round circular face right here is not a polygon, so no. Moving on to number 18. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, this is a polyhedron. Look at all the faces. Every single face is a polygon. Now, I'm not going to bore you and highlight every single one, but look at the front. There's the front of this thing. That's a rectangle. That's a polygon. Look at the top. The top is a triangle. That's a polygon. Every single face is a polygon. So yes. Now, do you see how this bottom face and the top face are both what? They are parallel and they are congruent. So when we're asked to name this, we call it a triangular prism. A triangular prism, because it is a prism when the top face and the bottom face are parallel and congruent. And number two, the base is a triangle. So yes, we have a name for this, and it's called a triangular prism. Okay, let's go on to number 19. Now, number 19, yes, it is a polyhedron. All of the faces are polygons, okay? So, yes. Yes, definitely. That's a triangle there, and this base is a rectangle. Yes, it is a polyhedron. But what's the name of this? Well, it's not a prism. Everything comes to a point up here, so we call this a pyramid. But what type of pyramid is it? Well, we look at the base, and the base that this pyramid is setting on is a rectangle. So we call this a rectangular pyramid. Okay? A rectangular pyramid. All right? All right, let's move on now. If you'll look in your book to number 20, I'm not going to write the sentence down. It's in your book right there, but number 20 says a rectangular pyramid has two bases. Well, here's a rectangular pyramid right in front of you. Look at number 19. Do we have two bases? No. If you were to take this thing and flip it upside down like this, it wouldn't be setting on a base, would it? It'd be setting on a point like this. Okay? So no. A rectangular pyramid does not have two bases. But now look at number 21. A triangular prism has two bases. Well, let's go back to number 18. What did we call this? A triangular prism? Yes, we did. Well, look at this, students. Watch this. This thing has two bases. I can turn it upside down like this. And now it's setting on this triangular base. Or I can flip it back around the other way. And now it's setting on this triangular base. So the answer to number 21 is true. Yes, a triangular prism does have two bases. Yes, in fact, do you want to make note of this? Any prism has two bases. Because if it's a prism, that means you can flip it over to the other side. Okay, number 22. The bases of a prism are congruent polygons. That's number 22. Number 22. Well, students, of course that's true, yes. I mean, that's the definition of a prism. Two faces that are congruent and parallel. So yes, that is true. 23. A cone has two bases. Well, no. Think about it, students. Here's a cone coming up to a point like this. Okay? Well, that doesn't have two bases. All right. If you were to turn this thing, it wouldn't be setting on a base. It'd be setting on a point. Okay? So no, a cone does not have two bases. A sphere is a polyhedron. Well, of course the answer to that is no, because a polyhedron has to be made up of polygons. And a sphere, you've got your circle, and then you kind of put this in here for emphasis so it looks 3D. That looks really bad, but anyways, no. A sphere is not a polyhedron. It's not made up of polygons at all. It's made up of a bunch of curved sides, so no. That is not the case. Okay, if you'll look in your book at 25 through 30, we're going to match these up. Oh, the answers are already here for you. Oops. So I'll get rid of those well, it's too late now. You already see them. Well, let's just talk about why the answers are correct. Look at number 25. I mean, that's a sphere. Look at it. That's a ball. It's a sphere. Letter F. Okay? Letter F. All right? Well, look at this. This is a rectangular prism. You know it's a prism. Doesn't the top side right here, wouldn't that be congruent to the bottom side even though you can't see it? Wouldn't that top side be parallel and congruent to the bottom side? Yes. And what's the base shaped like? A rectangle. So we have a rectangular prism. Okay. All right, well, number 27 is obviously a cone, shaped like a cone from a point up here. 28 would be a cube. Look at that. That's easy, a cube. All the faces are congruent. 29 would be a rectangular, or they're just calling it a pyramid. Okay, that's fine. So 29 would be a pyramid. And then take a look at letter C. Letter C is a cylinder. That's totally right. If you were to lay it on its side, it'd be a real kind of, fat kind of lengthy cylinder, but it'd still be a cylinder. So yes, that would be a cylinder. Okay, number 30. All right, let's continue on to numbers 31 and 32. They go together. So numbers 31 and 32. Now question 31 says correctly identify the solid. Now students, listen to me please. A pyramid comes to a point, not an edge, but one point, okay? This is not a pyramid. The top is an edge going across. It's not one single point like a pyramid is. So it's not a pyramid, okay? Now, right now you probably would say this is not a prism because see the bottom face? There's no way the bottom face right there matches there's no way this bottom face right here matches the top. But can I show you something? It's really hard to turn this thing, but let me show you something. I hope you'll see this. If you were to grab this figure and turn it, flip it up, so this was the base and it was setting on this side, then don't you see how the base would match this side right over here? Do you see that? Do you see how those two faces, I'm going to highlight one in blue. Do you see how the blue face right there is congruent to and matches the red face? I hope you do. So this is definitely a prism, and it's a triangular prism because if you were to flip this thing up on its base to where the base matched the top, it would be a triangle. So it's called a triangular prism. And 32 says, how would you help Julie to understand the difference? Well, a pyramid comes to a point. And this does not come to a point. It has a whole edge for a top, so it is not a pyramid. Okay? Let's take a look at number 33. Number 33. 33, they want us to state whether it's a polyhedron. If so, tell us the name. So we've done this already, so here we go. Yes, this is a polyhedron because it's made up of all polygons, so yes. And what do we call this? Well, it comes to a point. So we call this a pyramid. And now look at the base. It's a rectangle. So this is what we call a rectangular pyramid. All right. Okay, let's go on to number 34. Number 34. Now this is definitely a polyhedron because all of the faces are polygons. So yes, it's a polyhedron. And we would call this a prism. Do you notice how the top right here is congruent and parallel to the bottom. Do you see that? So we have a prism, and now we look at the base. How many sides does that base have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we call this a pentagonal prism because the base is a pentagonal prism. 35 is a resounding no. This is not a polyhedron. Look at this face up here. This face is curved. No, that is not a polyhedron. Okay? I did not mean to do that. Let's slide this down. All right, let's take a look at number 36. Name the polyhedron, then count the number of faces and edges. Okay? So, first of all, this is going to be a pyramid. You see how everything comes to a point. So it's a pyramid. Notice the base. I'm going to highlight the base real quick in blue. The base is a rectangle, so we're going to call this a rectangular pyramid. Okay. Now, I'm not going to make you name all of the well, they said count. Okay. So let's count the number of faces. Well, we got one in the front, one in the back. That's 2. Left, right, that's 3 and 1. Front and back, 1, 2. Left, right, 3, 4. And then the bottom is 5. So it has 5 faces. And what else do they want us to count? The faces and the edges. That'll be interesting. We got an edge here, 1, 2, 3. We got 3 in the back, 4, 5, 6. We already counted these 2, so 7, 8. Looks like 8 edges to me. Okay? That's going to be hard to see, but it looks like 8 edges. All right? Let's move on to number 11, or number 37. Excuse me. Number 37. Well, we would call this a triangular prism. Hopefully you're seeing that by now. Do you see how the top is congruent and parallel to the bottom? So we call that a prism, and the base is a triangle, so triangular prism. How many faces does it have? Wow. Well, let's see. We have a top and a bottom, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to have 5 total faces, and let's count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to highlight them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the edges. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm counting 9 edges, and that is correct. I just looked at the answer book, so 9 edges is correct. And then last but not least, number 38. Yes, we have a pyramid. We know that because it comes to a point. Look at the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we call this a pentagonal pyramid. Pentagonal pyramid. Okay? And let's see if we can't count the number of faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So it should have 6 faces. And now let's count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm getting 10 edges. And that is correct. The other 5 are down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope this has been a help, students. I really, really do. And email or call if you have questions.